The Nitecore MH12GTS is an upgraded version of the popular tactical MH12GT flashlight. It features an upgraded LED, 1800 lumen of max output, micro USB charging, and an included 18650 battery. Thanks to NitecoreStore.com for sending this to me to take a look at. Here is the packaging that the light comes in. It's the standard Nitecore black and yellow box. Not a ton of information on this one, kind of just more marketing. It's got features here on the side, not your typical chart that shows lumens and output. Here are the extras the light ships with. You've got a Nitecore branded lanyard in here and an extra O-ring. It's pretty nice. You get the manual here, and this is a pretty good manual. Comes in a couple different languages. NitecoreStore.com includes a quick start guide here with some troubleshooting tips. You get a micro USB cable for the rear recharging port. And then here is the holster the light goes in. And let me just put it in here. It's a pretty nice nylon lanyard. It does have a back that is able to be separated with Velcro, a plastic D-ring, and it is branded Nitecore. The Nitecore MH12GTS is made from machined aluminum and is hard anodized, and it's a mostly glossy black finish. It's kind of in between matte and glossy. Starting at the tail cap here, it has a large lanyard hole on either side. It does tail stand, as you can see here. The sides are cut down that allow for you to easily get your thumb in there and press that button from either side, which I like. Kind of helps orient the light in your hand. The tail cap here has a textured button, and it's a nice feel to it. It's got a little N on it. And that button is off center, which you can see. Opposite the button is the USB port, and it's got a little USB symbol on here. That just lifts up, and there is the USB port. Nitecore has made a big push and a big statement about this, that it is waterproof. And I'll be testing that later. Let's see how it works. You've got some knurling here then. On the inside, you've got a pretty stiff, strong dual spring, which I like. While I've got it apart, here is the battery that the light ships with. It is a Nitecore NL1835 HP, 8 amp max, 3500 milliamp hour, button top protected cell. Nice rewrapped Nitecore battery. Looking at this light here, you can see it's a dual tube construction. This allows for that front button to make contact and have the front and rear buttons. You've got the threads here. They are unanodized and they're an acne cut. You've got an additional O-ring down here that the light seals against. This tactical ring is a little bit different from what other lights have. It is threaded on, and you unthread it to a certain degree here. Then you have to kind of pull it off to get it over to that O-ring. That's one of the common troubleshooting things that's seen with this light is you've got to make sure you have the tactical ring screwed down all the way or have it completely removed so that tail cap properly fits on there and makes contact. Otherwise the light won't work. Looking on further down the body, we can see that this is the area for the clip. It is only available on the light in one direction. If you remove the tactical ring, you can fit it on going the other direction, but it doesn't fit the best. You've also got the option to do a lanyard here on the tactical ring. Allows for a pretty nice cigar hold. The body itself, you've got knurling here. It's not the most aggressive knurling, but then you've got these pretty deep cutout milled slots in there, which I like. And then anywhere where there's a label, this is milled even further. These edges are, they're not sharp so they'll cut you, but they're definitely not rounded. I kind of like that. It gives it a little more style. You've got a anti-roll ring here. If you're not using that tactical ring, it works pretty well. The body tube here looks like it comes into two pieces, and I think that's probably how it was built, but it seems to be glued and I can't get it to budge. Looking further up the head, you can see there's just minimal milling here, more for style than heat dissipation. The button is metallic, and when you do make contact or do certain button combinations like that, you get the flashing blue LED to give you status indicator on power. Make sure you check your manual to see all what that does. And then the bezel of this light is kind of large, and it's this one piece. It's glued in place. I can't get it to move, but it is a smooth bezel. The lens is anti-reflective coated. The reflector in there is smooth, and the LED is nicely centered. I measured this light at a length of 144 millimeters. Maximum diameter is 35 millimeters at the tactical ring. Minimum diameter, which is most of this light, is 26 millimeters, which is just at an inch. Weight with the battery is 153.1 grams. If I compare this to the Olight M2R Warrior, which I've previously reviewed, it's a fairly similar light in terms of its mission. The Nitecore does throw longer, and you can see that throw emphasized with the deeper bezel and a little bit longer length. Diameter wise, they're really the same. I like the Olight clip a little bit better because it does come up higher and allows you to deep carry the light. Both are nice options in their categories. Let's talk about the onboard recharging this light has. It's via micro USB, and it's in the tail cap here, as you can see, the port down there. This rubber flap that protects the port from dust and moisture, it's pretty well integrated in there. If you do tend to brush it, it could come up pretty easily. It's conformally coated, so the water resistance is really good. So here I've got the light. It's turned on. The flap is kind of semi-open. I'll get my hand down in there and open it up further. And you can see there, it's in the water. It's turned on. No problems there. Now let's take it out. I'm going to blow the port out just to get any water in there, and then we're going to see if it will charge. So here is the light still working. I'm going to shut it off. I've got a power bank here with micro USB. Plugging it in. And you can see that blue flashy light in there means it's charging. No problems with the water ingress. The one disappointing thing about the recharging on this light is that it's pretty slow speed. I saw its highest charging speed from a completely flat battery at 0.64 amps. So that included 3500 milliamp hour battery. Took me 10 hours and 9 minutes to charge to completion in the light. And that's really slow for a premium light in 2018. I'd expect a minimum of 1 amp these days, if not closer to 2, to cut down on charging times substantially. This light uses a Cree XHP 35 HD LED in cool white. It's capable of producing up to 1800 lumens in turbo mode, and it throws pretty well due to its deep reflector. Nitecore quotes about 280 meters. Overall, the beam has a hot center with about 4 distinct rings, and it's not a very smooth transition to spill. And the brightest hotspot has a bit of discoloration in the very center. This is easily noticed straight on against a wall or similar surface that's all the same color and texture. And it's noticeable at distance as well. Here are my night shots for the Nitecore MH12GTS. My normal spot is kind of flooded out due to a lot of recent rains and super muddy right now. So I've had to come out to a different place, and it's not quite as good, but we'll do our best anyways. So here is the lowest mode, about 1 lumen. They call it ultra low. Shows up on camera just a little bit. Bumping up is quite a big bump here, and as I tilt out, we can see it start to throw to these kinds of weeds in front of me in this field. Bumping up again, small bump. This, to the eye, this is throwing a good 50, 60 feet or so. Bumping up, I can start to see into the field over the berm, which is hard to see from the camera's position. If I move kind of over here, we can just kind of see here. Bumping up one more time. There's a tree there in the distance. It's hard to show on camera, but you can just kind of see it there. In real life, this is showing a little bit better. Here is strobe. This is fast. While it's already strobing, I can press and hold long time, and you get a beacon mode. And if I long press again, I get the last blinking mode. So here is turbo again. We can kind of see in this field how nice this beam is. It does have a few artifacts, but they're not major. For a cool white light, it's got pretty good color as well. Turbo is good for 1800 lumens, high is good for 900 lumens, medium is 240 lumens, low is 70 lumens, and ultra low is 1 lumen. Strobe, SOS, and beacon modes are 1800 lumens. And that's pretty good mode spacing as well. This light's capable of running on 18650s. I tested flat tops, button tops, protected and unprotected. They all work. It's capable of running on CR123s and RCR123s. To access Turbo, you need cells capable of running at 8 amps or more, and total runtime with the included 3500 mAh battery was 142 minutes. Turbo runtime starts decreasing almost immediately. It had a runtime of about 3 minutes, and when the light steps down, you're getting about 45% relative output for about 20 minutes, and between 20 and 142 minutes, the light's pretty stable between 45 and 35% relative output for 120 minutes. Heat is pretty well managed. The light gets warm, but it's never too hot to touch. One thing worth noting is that the manual says when using IMR 18650s batteries and the power level is low, please stop using the product at that power level to preserve and prevent damage to the battery. An IMR battery is what ships with this light, and this would suggest the light doesn't have low voltage protection for this type of battery because the low level safe drain level is lower with IMR. So it'd be a good idea to use protected cells. Luckily, the one that ships with this light is a protected cell. The tail switch on this light functions as it's only on and off, and it takes a decent amount of force to press. It's a mechanical button. I think this is good for a tactical offering. So here I've got it on, as you can see. For normal operations, this light has 5 modes, starting off in ultra low, low, mid, high, and turbo. Memory mode is strong with this light, and it works in all modes, including turbo. You just turn off, turn on, and it comes back. And this even works over extended periods of time. Say you've got the light on in low mode here and you want momentary access to turbo, you just press and hold the mode button. As soon as you let off, it turns off. Strobe on this light isn't just at one rate. It flashes fast and then slow, and that's going to be hard to see on video. Maybe if I just do this, you'll be able to see with frame rates. I kind of like that. It's better than just your average strobe. When in strobe, you can also go to beacon or SOS by long pressing that mode button. And to exit a special mode, you just short press on the button to return to where you are. One thing to note is if you are cycling through the modes here and you go too fast, you can get turbo, as you saw there. Direct access to Moonlight mode can be achieved on this light when it's off by pressing and holding the mode button and then actuating the tail light. This does require 2 hands to do. So for the pros for me are that this comes with a nice high capacity Nitecore battery. I like the accessories that it comes with. It seems to have about everything. I like that this light has waterproofing of the port itself for recharging. The covers don't always fit the best. They can come off easy. It's nice they've thought of that, and it seems to work well. And I like that this light has quick access to ultra low 1 lumen mode, even though it requires 2 hands to operate. For me, the cons are slow onboard recharging at 0.64 amps means onboard charging takes forever. I like that this beam throws well, but has some artifacts, and in the dim center, it's just not the best. I'm not a big fan of the double click to strobe. I'd prefer a double click to turbo and a triple click to strobe because I think you'd access it accidentally less easily. My conclusion is that the Nitecore MH12GTS is a pretty nice tactical style light with good amount of throw for its compact size. The UI takes a little while to get used to, but if this was a light you would use often, I think you'd like it and you get used to it. I like how you're able to use a pretty wide variety of power, including primary, flat top, and unprotected 18650s. I like that Nitecore has put a lot of effort into making the USB port waterproof. I can get past the beam flaws in normal everyday use, but that slow USB charging time is hard to live with on a premium light. Overall, this is a nice light and nice showing from Nitecore, especially if you need a small diameter light that throws a pretty long distance. If you've got the MH12GTS, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like it and subscribe because I've got more flashlight content coming soon.